Stream Elements said the busy builder is now live, streaming miniatures.
Welcome in. Welcome back. We're playing Fetch with Frank. And we're working on this thing some more. Oh, a little bit. I slept till 10 this morning. That's why we're starting late today. Still a bit... What's the word I'm looking for? Still a bit spiky feeling in the nose, you know, when you swallow and it kind of just tingles and hurts. But no sore throat or anything like that. Yeah, just a little behind the curve today, not... But on my days off, unless it's for something important, excuse me, I generally don't set an alarm clock, so I just slept until I woke up. Most days it's usually around 7:30, 8, even without an alarm. But today it was probably needed. I remember waking up a little bit of around 7:30, but then just putting my head back down. Next thing I know, it's 9. After that, it was 10. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting out of bed now. Sorry, I should have done this before the stream started. I'm just cleaning up my bespoke paint palette, as Model Student likes to call them. So I need that. I need aluminum. That's chrome. Where's my aluminium? There it is. Speaking of the devil, and he shall appear. And congratulations on busting 1,000. I'm at 830 right now. Had some weird stuff happen in the week where I was up to like 829, then it dropped back down to 26, then it went back up, and I'm like, you know, whatever. That's what she said. No. Actually, it looks like you're higher than that now. Last I saw it was 1.7K. I think it's, you know, people that just, they see something they like, so they hit the sub button, which is, you know, the way it's supposed to work. But sometimes YouTube decides to flood accounts with your content. You know, like you watch one video, and then kablam, all your videos are that content. And I get it. People begin to unsub, you know? Yeah, so you gained 75 in less than a week. I was happy just to get 100 in a month. So, yeah, congrats. Trying to make head or tail of these oh so wonderful big instructions for painting on this. Looks like sand, so anyone who has this kit would probably think, oh, I have to paint it sand. No, that's just a color they put in place. That's silver. It's supposed to be silver. That is the Ebro. I forget which one it is. It's the 2015 race season for the Japan series, which is why it's got the narrower wings and fins. Hey, Almanacs. But that's an Ebro kit. And it's really not that complicated, but F1, my god. I found a couple kits on eBay I might look into here in the next couple months. But the prices that people are asking for them are just astronomically stupid. Nope, it's the English version of how we paint the inside of our vehicles white for reflecting light. They do the same thing. They just decided on silver. And then the tan that I'm painting on now, that is supposed to be there. That's the color. Yeah, that's the color of the brain not working. The padding, just the cushioning they install on the walls. Yeah, I had to clean her off. I've had her on display upstairs. She's a bit dusty. But you should be able to get those Ebro kits at most hobby shops for like 30, 40 bucks. The company started from a bunch of ex-Tamiya employees who had a passion for F1. And Tamiya wasn't making the cars they wanted to make. Because at the time, Mr. Tamiya did all the decision making until his passing, I think last year. And they wanted to make more where he was not making more, you know. And they do some of the older F1 kits too. I've got the 71 Monaco Tyrrell, the blue one. That looks like it's going to be a fun kit. The rear view mirror mounts come as pre-bent pieces of metal. Shedding another bristle. Frank didn't bring his toy back, which means he doesn't want to play anymore. I know I could remove these ejector pin marks. You're not really going to see them. Now, I did find the 6-wheel Tyrrell in 1/12 scale for 80 some odd bucks. That is kind of tempting. No, the one from the 71 Monaco is a standard 4-wheel car, but I did find the 6-wheel one in 1/12 scale for 80 some odd bucks. You can get the 1/20th scale one for 35, 40. Hey, Steven. Hey, Major Havoc. It's cheap, but considering what I'm trying to save for, that's almost a singular Humvee payment at 80 bucks. You know, into my savings. The good news is my ability to put money towards said project has doubled. Not my pay is doubled, but my ability to put money towards it, so that is good. It still means slow going on the saving, but it means saving will increase. Yeah, I don't need pink going everywhere. But sleeping in combined with a little bit of intestinal instability. No. It just means I'll be able to sock away more money for what I need. And I am pissed at AFV Club. Because you know how they've got that new tool Humvee Avenger kit coming out, where it's the more modernized version of that system? They want over $100 for it. How about no? And a lot of people are saying that. No, just certain companies. Good kits are still out there affordably. But I need to actually take a Nature Calls break. Sorry about this so early. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Looks like dinner last night isn't agreeing with me either. A lot of the prices on that stuff are also going up due to where they're being made. Okay, I need that interior shot again. Okay, that is tan all the way around. Alright. Oh, Games Workshop has been insane since the early 2000s. Games Workshop has never been cheap. Then again, most hobbies are not cheap. Honestly, it wasn't. We're trying those dinner box things to see if we can cut down our grocery spending. They do help a little bit, but the recipes get a bit repetitive. You can pick what you want, but the ingredients are just remixes of the same. Hey, model student, I need you to do me a favor, since you seem to have a hobby shop that has a lot of older kits, so to speak, up there. Keep an eye out for a kit for me, please. 1/16 scale MPC Street Charger. It's a black 71 Dodge Charger with gold decals on it. It got re-released recently, i.e. in the past century, but everybody wants stupid money on eBay for it, and I know it's not worth that much. It shouldn't be too terribly expensive, and we'll figure out a way to communicate off of here if you need to set up a payment arrangement. But that's one car I've been wanting to do again. I had one back in the early 2000s. Now, black 71 Charger. I'll send you a link to an eBay auction so you know what to look for. Yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah, but you also notice that their quality begins to degrade. The cuts of the meat are pretty shitty. So now this isn't exactly highly collectible. This is actually also the newer re-release from like 2018. So, but that's what you want to look for. If I didn't have a Camaro, I'd have that. I'd find a 71 Charger somehow, some way. There's like a chunk of paint or something in here that keeps getting in the way.
At the Model Student 20 said our annual model show is this coming Sunday, so there is a good chance I may find one.
Excellent. Talk them down. The price that's on eBay, that's stupid. There is no reason for that to be that much. Oh, hi, Frank. I didn't even notice you came up, boy. Hey, little buddy. You honestly shouldn't pay more than $50 for one. And that's even in Canadian maple syrup dollars, so... No, you can't get in the window. I know I've got it open. I know, you got such big paws. Yes, you do. That's okay, Almanacs. I need you to get down, buddy. Yeah, I know. I know. You're such a good boy. And anybody else out there, if you run across it, you know, let me know. Don't want to rely on just one person, but that is one I would like to build on stream as well. It shares some of the same moldings with the Petty car, the Richard Petty version, which you can still get pretty cheap. Except the Petty version doesn't have the regular headlights and taillights and things like that. Nor does it have the side pipes and the decals. So, just touching up my fucking up. And to be honest, I was debating not streaming today because it's just been bleh, you know? But I've had enough of that recently. Need to kick myself in the ass and keep going. But the AAVR is fully assembled. I just finished getting its tracks on this morning. So expect some weathering on that. We might do that today if I run into a I've got to stop for now point on this build, which so far we haven't. Yeah, right? And I know a lot of the old guys that are selling their kits at these shows aren't exactly eBay conscious, so they're going to be asking what they paid for it and not what eBay is asking for it. But then you get the guys who are asking what eBay wants for it too. So... I'm willing to go as high as 60 US. Because I do know that it's not in shops. But I also know it's not worth that much. Not 120, you know. I think when it sold, it was $45. Ugh. I wonder what the new reissue Vincent kits are going for on eBay already. I'm not gonna look. And has Maximilian come out yet? Nope, just the Diamond Select toys. All it's on. Oh!
At the model student 20 said there's the pre-painted body one. I see it's well fair a bit cheaper, but they're all even more than the best.
A pre-painted body one? Huh? There was never a pre-painted one released as far as I know. Ninky Poo. If you can. I know that some of you guys have difficulty posting links for some weird reason, which you shouldn't. They're allowed.
At the model student 20 said
Oh, the TIE Bomber. Hold off on that because something got announced this year. They are doing a TIE Bomber kit finally. Round 2 is to go with their 32nd scale studio scale TIE Fighter kit, and they're doing a TIE Interceptor. So for those that want a TIE Bomber, be patient. Round 2 is tooling one up. Grandpa's P-51 should be here tomorrow. It's just the basic Tamiya kit with the Jeep. I may or may not look for more decals from that unit to see if I can find... Because he was the crew chief on a P-47 in the same unit called the West by God, Virginia. And that pilot proceeded to move up into P-51s. The whole unit did. And took that name. Yeah, I was going to say, in 1/16, I don't think it ever was. But the pilot took the name for that aircraft and put it on a P-51. And if they did it then, like they still do it today, you can be a dedicated crew chief on an airframe, but you're working on all the airframes. You know, you're helping everybody out fix everything. Back then, especially. The crew chiefs were the weapons troops back then. So I can't find a P-51 that has his name on it, just a P-47. But I can find the P-51 with the same name with the same pilot. So that's kind of what I want to go with, if I can find those decals. If that, I'm not too worried about it. And I also know somebody who just finished a 24 scale Airfix 51D in the same unit, who actually lives up by Bodney, and he's going to take it to the old remnants of the airfield and take pictures. Come on, open. Don't make me go Ultra Magnus on you. Damn it! Open! There, I went Ultra Magnus on it. It didn't work. And that's not even the color I want. There we go. But if anyone else sees that 16th scale 71 Charger in their travels, snag it, let me know, and we will get payment sorted out somehow. I know YouTube isn't the easiest to trade information on. Just touching up a few things. Alright, where are we next? We got the roof painted up. Next we're working on this bulkhead, which is this wall. And they have me jump. So here we are still on the interior. You get your walls on this page. And then they have you jump to the outside again. I don't want to do any of this until the roof and the front bulkhead are on. That's why, because they have you go from the roof to doing all this outside detailing with all these smoke dischargers protruding. All that stuff's going to snap off on you, you know? So we're going to jump from that to... I've already done the inside of the roof. From there, we're going to go to this front bulkhead. Yeah, here's all the inside stuff for that. So we're going to be jumping around a little bit still. That's another reason this is taking me so long and I'm having difficulty kind of keeping things straight. Or hey, if anyone's got that charger in their stash that watches regularly, let me know. Come on, I just cleared you out. Usually I have trouble with the airbrush clogging up, not the paint bottles. What the hell? I don't know what this is. I think it's part of the NBC kit. Or something to do with environmental stuff. I'm not too knowledgeable on this, I'm afraid.
At the model student 20 said I have the Tamiya 112 Lotus in me stash, it's a gorgeous kit.
The green one with the yellow stripe? Or the white one? And does it still have the parts to motorize it? Why am I getting tickly? Okay. And so far, aside from that one little hiccup with the driver's chair, the rest of this kit's fallen together. So I need a bunch of G parts. 58, 57, 56.
At the model student 20 said red, gold, and white Lotus 49 B Ford F1. It has functioning steering and suspension, but not motorized.
Probably not cheap either. I found a couple of those kind of kits below the $80 range on eBay hunting around.
At the model student 20 said 60 Vera F1.
I've been looking for something a bit more modern, at least this century. I tried doing and this is a long time ago, the red Ferrari F1 2000 back in like 2002. Me and red don't get along very well. And no matter how hard I tried being neat and clean and tidy, I just could not get that kit to agree with me, and just everything. It felt like I was making a mistake during every step. I'd like to reapproach it now and see what I could do with it, but again, finding one at a reasonable price, because it's not a rare kit, but it is F1, so people are going to ask for more money. Finding one at a reasonable price is not that easy right now. And Revell back in the early 2000s did a series of 25th scale F1 kits. Oof. That's still expensive. I mean, $100 for a 12 scale Tamiya kit's, you know, honestly about the going rate, but that's still expensive. There we go. To me, investment only counts if you plan on reselling and reutilizing the funds initially spent. Now you've got my, yeah. Red, white, and gold, you said? $498 Ford F1. Really tall wing on the back. Number 10 on the side.
Model student 20 said it might fun something one day. Yep, grinning face with sweat emoji.
You're gonna hate me. As the famous James Bond movie said, never say never again. G16.
At the model student 20 said $100 Canadian would be $65 bucks American.
Oh. It doesn't want to allow me to send it. It's being a meanie. Oh, only on Twitch. Why did it reset to that? It should be set to all. Whatever. I found it for 99 US. 52 US. 96 US, 93 US. Yeah, it seems like the average price for it's about $100. Which, even if Tamiya were to re-release it now, it wouldn't be that cheap.
At the model student 20 said 52 US is super cheap, but probably $70 shipping.
No, it was open bid, so it could get higher than that.
At the model student 20 said rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
B7.
At the model student 20 said yeah, most I see they run around $250 Canadian minus mint.
But you know me, I don't buy them to collect them. I buy them to build them. That's not to say you can't buy them to collect them. That's all fine and dandy, but They might sit on my shelf for a little bit, but they're not intended to sit on my shelf forever, you know? They enter the queue.
Model student 20 said I like cheaper kits better. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. At the model student 20 said I bought I have to build.
Ooh, do I pass on this? 25 bucks, $13 delivery, a Ferrari 412 T2, Revell 124 scale. I feel like I want to keep them all the same scale, but honestly, you're not going to beat that. And Revell Germany made a lot of good shit. Yeah, the next one in line's 89 bucks. Good God. All right, yeah, we're not streaming much model building today, right?
At the model student 20 said I did when I first started buy a bunch of car kits. Not sure I will keep all of those or not now though.
I'm trying to get into cars again
At the model
a little
student
bit.
20 said that's a good deal.
For any F1 kit, 25 bucks is a good deal. I just wish there was more in 120th that wasn't Tamiya or wasn't expensive.
At the model student 20 said cat mode is okay.
Yeah, chat's fine. I love talking to you guys. But others out there might watch for the building, you know, to see where I screw up and laugh at me. Okay. Where's the rear bulkhead? There's the front one. There's the rear one. Hey! And there's a lot of crap to clean up on this one. Takom, stop doing this. Stop it. Aluminum? Just to get between all the pad pieces. Normally I'd airbrush, but I just don't feel like airbrushing something this small. I don't know how much is going to be visible once it's in place. Because you'll be able to see that from the top hatch right here. Yeah, I guess if I'm doing F1 kits, though, if I can keep them all on the same scale, that's great. $44 for the Motorola. Wow, that box looks rough. Do what now? Oh. Why did that quit? Well, it's not so much challenging, it's... You gotta think differently with armor and aircraft, like airplanes. Build interior, put fuselage together. You don't have to do much more until you're done putting the outside together, right? You build and paint your interior, slam, done. Now the rest is outside. Landing gear bays, if you know how to work it right, you can paint them externally, mask them, paint the outside. It's more about the seam filling. With F1 and cars especially, you're painting and going at the same time, especially when you get to the engine bay. And not everything always lines up. Even if the car is like brand new mold, fresh out of the factory, that shit doesn't like to line up half the time. And it's really dissuading. They got us demoralized, you know? Okay, I'm gonna put that on my watch list, though. Sorry, I'm just looking at this listing real quick. Let me Google this. Revell Ferrari 412 T2. I just want to see if it has an engine or not. I can't tell. It does. You know what? Fuck it. It's cheap enough. I want something different. I've been doing a shit ton of military lately and figures. I want something different. There we go. Impulse bot. And if I like it, we'll do more. And I'll keep an eye out for others, like, ooh, here's the Vodafone McLaren. $39, but it's in Lithuania. No. Yeah. I'll do a more thorough search for just stateside stuff later.
At the model student 20 said awesome.
And I know I've got the Ebro kit sitting there. It is extremely, like, the Revell kit's kind of robust in terms of the parts breakdown. The Ebro kit is the antithesis of that. music going here. And we might take a quick break too. There we go. I'll put this mix on. It tends to motivate me a little bit. There we go. A couple more parts I want to glue in right through here. And I gotta get the seat in still, the commander seat. We just got the driver's seat in right now. Plus, I want to see if I can nip it in the bud. The red curse, I call it. See if I can build a Ferrari kit and have it work. And it's not like I find the red hard to paint, but when I'm doing it, something always screws up. Either the red contaminates something else, or I just can't keep it clean for shit. Touch up, touch up, touch up. I want to test fit the roof real quick too while I've got all this here, in case this causes an issue. Like a glove. Tell me that's not starting to look proper in there. And I tried to do a search for some Falklands soldiers. I found a few. They seemed a little odd, though, that some of them were using M16s. When I could have sworn standard British 80s rifle was either the FN FAL or the L85. These weren't used in the Falklands, but I want a period correct looking figure, and the easiest way to do that is to search Falklands, because just doing Cold War or modern British soldiers gets you Iraq 2003 stuff, and their uniforms are radically different then. And I just want a figure or two to put with it just to show it off. I mean, standalone being open like this is cool, but adding that, just even a singular figure. You're good. So I'm going to continue searching there too. Maybe I'll have to just... I'll have to search and see if Verlinden did anything. Like I said, I just need one. It's just somebody in the right kind of uniform to paint up in the right fatigue, you know, the right camouflage pattern. Maybe just, yeah, one, maybe two, just the commander and the driver. Now it just feels like I'm babbling. At least progress on this has been slow enough and deliberate enough that it's working out okay in terms of like dry time and stuff. Yeek. Nope, you get back up there. Get back up there. Alright. Got an itch. G11. I think I told you guys the figures for the Bradley have been ordered too. Where does this go exactly? Like right there? I don't even know what the hell that is. Every other interior picture I can find, someone's put some form of, like, screening up. And it honestly looks like it's part of the vehicle. Because all these spaces here are for stowage. I should have really put that in before I put the box in. That's okay. I made this one harder on myself. This is not the kit's fault. Yeah, that BF-110's looking nice. Okay. G13 and H5. I'm trying to figure out orientation for this thing. Okay, I see a locating tab there. So I think it goes like that. It's got to be that way. Okay. H5.
At the model student 20 said, thank you very much. I'm trying lol.
It's all we can do, just keep trying. You know? That's why it's a hobby and not a job. Not gonna get fired for failing. I'm not saying you're failing, but I'm just saying in general. Oh, shut up now before I put my foot 5 feet up my ass. No. So, yeah, this is the water trap bottle for a compressor.
Said, yes, the right figures seem hard to source sometimes.
Yep, that is the moisture trap for an air compressor, alright.
At the model student 20 said, grinning face with sweat emoji.
So here's the clear bowl that I'm going to somehow get on here, and then get glue all over it. That way it's not a clear bowl anymore, and it's a frosted mess. Just watch. Either that, or I'll do a ping fuck with it, and I'll pick it up with the tweezers, and it'll just go ping, and I'll go fuck. Okay, I failed successfully. The parts are joined, just not fully. There. That is so impossible to see. It's the mount and the clear bowl for the moisture trap for the air compressor.
At the model student 20 said, OMG, that is mean.
What, failing successfully? Yeah.
Floor laughing emoji.
I think that is every modeler. And if somebody is pretentious enough to tell you that that is not them, well, they're lying. Where did that... There it is. How many tries will it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a 432? But this is all my stupidity. I forgot to put these parts on until after I glued this in. Then I'm like, shit, I still have things to put here. So this is all me. This is not the kit's fault. It's from me working out of sync, out of order. Why do you feel like you're not seated properly? Notice I'm switching to a finer brush that I can actually reach in here easier. No, 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 no. Wait. There. God, I'm spending way too much time on this piece. There, done. That's it, done. Done with that. We're not touching it no more. Is there something you'd rather be doing today? Yeah, we'll have this chair in the down position too.
At the model shoot and Pointy said, "Take that." Done. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
It'll fall off years down the line and I'll never notice. While that sets up before I paint it, let's get the back wall glued on. Come on. Go to your hole. I gotta dry fit something here. You notice how that's sitting just slightly proud in the corner there? Because autofocus is fucking me today. I think it's okay, but I just want to be sure. Yeah, it's okay. When in doubt, dry fit. And how has the autofocus been today overall? I haven't been paying attention. I assume it's pretty bad.
At the model shoot and Pointy said, "Good focus
Okay.
overall."
I can't tell, my eyes are so fucked up. I need to get to an optometrist this year and get that sorted too. So, I think I should be able to get the roof on, and then we can move to the front bulkhead. Because I've got all the inside stuff for the roof installed and painted.
But the model student 20 said, yep, we're falling apart.
Yeah. Oh, I've been falling apart since I was 25.
Grinning face with sweat emoji.
That's not new news here. I've been falling apart since I was 25. So it's going to be interesting in the next Dune movie to see how they walk back the strong, independent Chani narrative, because apparently she and Paul have had their children, so they're doing Children of Dune, and possibly Dune Messiah down the road. Essentially, Paul gets nuked in this. They think he's dead, he's just blinded. But he goes wandering through the desert after that as some kind of babbling preacher. Everybody thinks he's a martyr. And meanwhile, his kids are left to grow up with their crazy aunt, I guess you could say. Alia. Was Alia even in the new movies? I don't remember. It shows you how much of an impact the second film left on me. It was basically the '84 Dune with a fresh coat of paint. Dropped it. Okay, I'm just gonna have to repaint the seat cushion. I should have done this before I put it. The third part of the Denis Villeneuve Dune series, and I'm trying to remember, because in the one they're doing now, it's the one where Paul gets blinded and becomes a wandering preacher in the desert. Everybody thinks he's dead, and his sister Alia takes the throne for the Atreides, while the Fremen have spread throughout the galaxy like some crazy jihadis and are killing everybody. Duncan Idaho gets resurrected as a face dancer and presented to him as a gift. It gets really stupidly convoluted from here on out. By the end of it all, Duke Leto III, I say third because there was a Duke Leto II, or not Duke, but there was a Leto II, but he got killed. You know? Well, I'm still trying to figure out how they're going to backtrack strong, independent Chani running off at the end of the last film. But there's going to be the third Leto, who undergoes some kind of metamorphosis. Paul's been the villain since the beginning. But Leto essentially becomes a human sandworm hybrid that continues to mutate through the course of millennia. He's basically a land-based guild navigator, for lack of a better description. Alright, so we're going to do some washes in here before we seal her up. I want to try this one, though. Sorry if I'm spoiling it, but if you haven't had a chance to read the books in the past 30 years, then, you know.
At the model student 20 said most people don't realize that at first they think he's a hero.
It depends on which side of that conversation you're on, too. Look at current events and how many people think certain individuals out there are heroes right now, which are honestly a pretty good fucking mirror for the story of Dune.
Said rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
And honestly, I think Sci-Fi Channel did a pretty good job in their Children of Dune, Dune Messiah series. Yeah, the effects weren't up to it. They were made for TV effects. But they did a good job translating the story. I'm sorry. So I'm using the Vallejo Game Wash. Comes out kind of thick. You can thin it a little bit. Just to pop out the radio faces, some of the other details. Especially with all this silver. And actually, Paul isn't even the villain. He's honestly the victim. The Bene Gesserit are the villains.
At the model student 20 said that's because we live in a movie. With directors and producers and actors. Yeah, the Children of Dune was good, I thought.
And a very young McAvoy before he played Professor X, playing Leto III. I like how that looks. And a little staining on the padding's not going to hurt, because that shit probably got fucked up anyway. Especially the stuff around the engine housing right here.
At the model student 20 said true, the Bene are the masterminds.
The Bene Gesserits, and by extension the Guild as well, even though I think the Guild, from, you know, from reading it myself and my interpretation of it, the Guild they're just as complicit as the Bene Gesserit, but for a different reason. They're trying to control the spice to continue their ability to fold space, right? Because they're not wrong. Something happens and you're looking at Warhammer before the warp, essentially. The navigators can't get spice, they can't fold space, no commerce happens, and you're looking at lost civilizations for millennia. And the Fremen allegory of jihad is not wrong. You've got a desert people expanding across the universe, killing everybody who does not agree with Paul. Paul didn't command it, though. That's the thing. They're doing it in his name, not under his direction. And that's what I mean, that Paul is just as much a victim as anything else. It's the Bene Gesserit. But even the new version painted Paul as more of a hero, and they didn't emphasize the story beats that meant more in terms of him being seen as not a hero. But meanwhile, Ollie is going insane, having visions of her uncle in her head. The book was more subtle about it. The sci-fi series is like, yeah, she's literally seeing the floating fat man, which it was more whispers in her head than anything.
At the model student 20 said it was written by an elite like Tolkien. It's all allegory.
It is. I wouldn't call Tolkien so much of an elite. He was in the trenches. I think. Hear me out. I think Tolkien writing The Lord of the Rings and all that. That was his way of processing what he had experienced in the industrialized warfare of World War I. He was able to put it to paper afterward, but think about it. He probably came up with all of that in his head in the trenches. He probably created this whole world that his brain could disappear into during artillery bombardments and everything else. Now, I'll also admit I think Lord of the Rings is a bit overhyped in terms of what it's become in modern day.
The English people were extremely cynical before, during, and even shortly after the war.
Again, I'm not going to argue that. We don't live in that time anymore, so it's hard to really know. I wouldn't say the people, but there was a certain aloofness of the aristocracy that got in the way. They fought in the old ways, which were the officers stayed back while everybody else died for them. To, give it a simpler explanation. World War I is one of the finer examples of how those fighting the war and those leading it began to get wrapped up in it more. That was the last time you really saw officers at the rear. After that, World War I and so on, they tried. Certain ranks still have their we're going to stay at the rear thing. But you saw more of the upper echelon in the field after that. They've always had an interesting way of fighting their wars. I'm not gonna lie. But World War I especially, that's when specific families and specific generations of families held more clout than today. Do people still like to think that the lords run the place? They try to. But we can't compare back then to today at all. It is so radically different. It's ridiculous. What was the example that I saw recently where basically someone was like, I'm an officer, you have to give me better treatment, and someone was like, nah, fuck that, and just shot the guy.
At the model student 20 said the English people are an enigma.
You do realize most of my audience is English, right? I have very few Americans that watch this channel. I mean, I have some, but a good portion of my audience is English. Or Danish. I've got a lot of Danish people, too. Got one Norwegian, if Rat Pack's out there. Hi, Rat Pack. Got a few Germans. But yeah, a good majority of my audience is English. Alrighty. There'll be enough open hatches, I'll be able to do some more dirtying up on the inside once we get everything else done. So I got the seat in. Yeah, before I continue doing anything else outside, I want to get the roof on and the front bulkhead done. Well, technically Canada still holds loyalty to Britain. The Queen was still on your money, right? Have they printed new stuff with the King on it yet? Okay, there's some stuff gonna go here. Oh yeah, there is a thick-ass seam that goes around here. So, if anyone's building this kit, don't spooge too much glue out of here. That's a natural seam line. So if you put too much glue out of it, like this side did, that might be hidden behind the bins, but sand it down, grab your scribing tool and just run it along there to refresh the line. Yeah, right now I think Stuck Farmer is not leaving the UK for a good while. Oh, you meant the other way, the Canadian Prime Minister. Yeah. Alright. So while that sets for a moment, I'm going to take a break, stand up, move around, get a snack. Be right back. If you've been sitting just as long as I have, I suggest you do the same.
At the model student 20 said mine will probably be the same even though it's the smaller version. At the model student 20 said thumbs up emoji.
Alright, we're back. I want to see how far I can get with this front bulkhead. We might be cutting today a little short too. I still need to mow my front yard. I wasn't able to last time because of being sick. I just don't want to be doing it while the sun's setting. So, front bulkhead. I can test fit this too to make sure that everything else is still lining up while I can rip it apart. Did I want to sleep till 10 today? No. Did I need to? Apparently so. Okay. Oh, that is lining up just dandy. So do you have the 72nd skill one of this then? Comes with the chieftain tank. I'm not putting the shopping cart on top either.
At the model student 20 said I turned in at 7:30 a.m. Got up at 1
Ugh.
great.
I can't do that anymore. Sorry, that's just... Nope. That is not in my power anymore. I used to do that when I was a lot younger. But that was... Yeah, that was 25 years ago. Yeah, not doing that anymore.
At the model student 20 said no mine is the 135th ABGP Husky in
Oh.
order.
Actually, I think the hull is the same length as an LEV, just fewer axles. This thing is tiny.
At the model student 20 said still has the train.
Like an M113 looks like a monster next to this. Your Grizzly doesn't have any interior parts, does it?
At the model student 20 said no squat spare this dude anymore. My niece would pop off and land across the room rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Oh, mine do that right now. So this you're not even going to see.
At the model student 20 said maybe the Husky is the same length as that one. At the model student 20 said let me see.
Yeah, the Husky would be the same length as an LAV, I know that. It's the same hull. H4. Another tiny clear piece that's gonna go ping ping on me. And that gets painted red anyway, a clear red. Come on. God, working on the Bradley is going to seem so easy compared to this.
At the
But what is your lav? G22, G17, G48. Okay.
At the model student 20 said yeah, no interior.
I know, that sucks. I might jump over to the LAVM after this and the AAV are done. Before I dig in on the Bradley. Get some of the stuff that's been in line a bit longer out of the way.
At the model student 20 said both trumpeter, it's the lap 3.
Oh, that is a completely different vehicle. The LAV3 has about as much in common with the LAV25 or the Moag Piranha. Yeah, so your Husky is comparable to the LAV25 series. The LAV3 is the next. Yeah. It's got the next generation in it, but is a completely different hull from the ground up. G17. Why do they insist on making this upside down? So I've got to. Yeah, but the LAV3 became what was known as the Striker in the U.S. The Marines never adopted the LAV3. And while we're on that subject, where's Alex? Alex needs to be here. The Zemi Models Marine amphibious vehicle is finally out. What was it called? Hold on.
At the model student 20 said 11 Charlie models love those strikers.
Well, it's what he worked on, you know. That'd be like me building nothing but F-16s and F-15s. It's what I know, but at the same time, I'm not gonna do that. But it's his channel. He does what he wants, you know. Sorry, just cleaning some things up. But let me see if I can find one. Where did they go? But yeah, Zemi Models ACVP is out. I've got it on my watch list. Where did it go? Here we go. I'd like to get this next. This is what Alex and I were talking about. We think that it's based on the Piranha 5 chassis. So LAV 5. that is what's replacing the AAV series. It's just entered service.
At the model student 20 said they're my favorite, those are helicopters and sci-fi and Gundam.
So, everything. Okay, so silver, tan, black, red. Alright. Yeah, we'll see if I end early or not. I don't know. I might wait till tomorrow to do the lawn when I get off work, or next week. I don't know. It needs to be mowed, but at the same time, I'd like to give the pollinators a little time to enjoy the flowers that are out there. I've never got a notice from the city, so. I forgot G22. But maybe next payday I'll order in the new amphibious vehicle kit.
At the model student 20 said $100 kit here, and I don't care, I'll get one cheaper. Mawa hara hara ha, that is a cool looking kit.
Well, yeah, it's 100 where you are, but it's not where I am. What was I gonna do? Okay, that is up and down. I did have that the right way around. Okay. Get in place. I remember not too long ago there was a low-budget horror film about a haunted 432 or something about it was off, and when they got in it, it made you feel like the crawl to go from here to here was like the length of the whole vehicle. I just thought it was amusing. I'm still waiting on that kit to see if it is indeed $100, or if it can be found cheaper. That's why I haven't bought it yet. It's not exactly 100 for me to order it, but right now I haven't done any searches for it recently to see if any US side distributors have it. Because right now they're still all coming out of China. Excellent. Yeah, I'd appreciate it. If you don't find it, that's cool. I'm not expecting you to find it, to be honest. Not. That's not saying you don't have the skills to find it or anything, but it's not rare, but at the same time, it's not commonly seen. So. But if you got any car clubs up there, somebody there might have one. Hell, check your local Facebook marketplace. Maybe someone's selling one. I might have to do that here. Yeah, I want to get the box buttoned up today before I end stream at least.
At the model student 20 said I wait on you kids. Usually only one I had to grab was the ICM 135th party helicopter.
Is that the Sky Crane? The one that Max has been building? I don't know it by that name. I need to get back on the Alien Hind too. I've had a look at the decals for the 48 scale one that Edward did. It's got the same problem that the one person who painted theirs did. They didn't go high enough on the specular highlights. So they look flat. And by that I mean there's no depth to the imagery, the paintwork.
At the model student 20 said yes, the Skyframe. There was one of those cars a while ago on my local Kijiji. It's sold, though. I'll check marketplace now.
Well, you don't have to check now. I gotta give the nozzle on that bottle a proper clean out. It's acting up weird. Alright, let's get the black out. Because I think all the rest of this stuff gets painted black, basically. Yeah, the control panel.
Model student 20 said pick and pick doing with now grinning face with sweat emoji.
Oh, good lord. Ow. I think once we get the interior together, it'll be a good stopping point for this anyway. Then the next stream, the next stream will not be until next week. I apologize. Tuesday, I will not be in a condition to be able to even talk, as far as I know. If I'm on Tuesday, count your blessings, but there's a really good chance I will not be on Tuesday. I'll most likely be in bed most of the day, hopped up on painkillers. Wow, the silver does not react well with the camera at all. Just whoop, whoop. Yeah, there was a second version of that kit issued, with red plastic for the body, but that's the original issue.
At the model student 20 said no car, but there is one of those Rayvale 1/200th offshore oil rigs. Cool.
Okay, the oil rig is kind of, that's interesting.
At the model student 20 said silver looks gray.
Right there, yeah. Well, it's aluminum. An ALOOOOO. Dab of clear red on whatever the heck that thing is. I think it's a shift indicator, to be honest. This should progress a lot more quickly soon, because when we come back to it, yeah, it'll be next week, I'm afraid.
At the model student 20 said like that Saturn rocket or even space shuttle gantry system that is a rare model to find.
The shuttle gantry kit's actually been re-released recently, so it's easier to find. But yeah, we should be able to proceed more quickly with this next week.
At the model student 20 said take a frickin' year
Yeah.
to build one.
Well, if you want to build it accurately, yeah. I've heard issues with that kit. Why are we having difficulties now?
At the model student
Oh, now
20
brown
said,
cow?
"I'll still be here, God willing."
Alright, why are we...
At the model
Because
student
I did
20
something
said,
stupid.
"As a tool, I didn't know that."
There. I glued that on wrong. So again, because the instructions really aren't that great on telling you what to do. Thanks, Takom. This goes like that. Because I'm a moron. Woo! There.
The model student 20 said awesome, it wasn't set yet.
Yeah. And you really won't notice the fuck up that I did anyway once it's in there.
At the model student 20 said stupid Takom. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. At the model student 20 said thumbs up emoji.
I know I'm not doing anything wrong. But they sure as shit did not proofread this before they... That goes there. Yeah, there we go.
At the model student 20 said I fought one of the BF engine cowlings, it was a bugger.
Well, your kit has the excuse of still being made in the time when they had to pantograph down larger sculpted fittings and errors could creep in more easily. This is made in the day of, computer-aided design when everything is digitally designed and fit together in the computer beforehand. And mistakes like the accurate miniatures McLaren not fitting because they scaled everything correctly except for the body thickness, and nothing fit because the body was too thick. Does that BF still have raised panel lines? Or is it recessed? Because if it's raised, it's a much older kit than you think. I'll need to use a little surfacer right there. We're going to be throwing some camo netting on this sucker anyway, when we get down to it. Well, any kit can make you a better modeler. I saw what you were saying about the shake and bake kits. They're fun. Technically, this should be one of those. But there's no challenge. No, it's a 70s mold. Let me go to Scalemates. There.
At the model student 20 said, yeah, okay, I thought latest maybe 81.
No, I didn't ask for the dragon one. So apparently there's two of them that they have. One is the dragon kit that they sell, reboxed. That's got recessed panel lines because that was tooled up in 2008. But that's the Revell Germany one. Okay, now I'm getting it better.
The model student 20 said the kid is Shakespeare the Bake. Grinning face with sweat emoji.
No, but these so-called shake and bake kits, you're kind of right. They don't exercise your skill set. So when you run into issues, you don't...
The model student 20 said shows it in the 90s 91, I think on Scalemates.
I'm trying to find it. There's a couple different listings for it. That's the problem.
At the model student 20 said it's older than that.
74. It was released as the Yabo kit back in 74. So yeah, kit's older than me. Not as old as you, older than me. So you could have built it as a kid. No, I did not time it so that laugh would happen then, but, whatever.
At the model student 20 said that makes sense.
It's still not a terrible kit for its age. A lot of those older kits, we're going to wind down now anyway. Like even the 32nd scale Harrier that some modelers got pissed at because they didn't do their own research and they thought Revell was releasing a new one, or I don't know what they thought. Usually, if Revell releases something new, it says new tool right on the box. They're required to by law. Because Revell Germany now owns all the Revell shit.
The model student 20 said you get a familiarity with the kit when you spend the time sanding and fitting.
It's not even familiarity, it's. You get a sense of your own ability, your own likeliness to run into a problem and then diagnose, adjust, and fix that problem. Where shake and bake kits don't do that. You know, they're really just bleh.
Said I would have been 8, so yes I could have if I wasn't playing ball hockey. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
47. I'm trying to see if anything else needs to go around this. I want to get that hole closed up. This would have been so nice if they would have given an engine for it.
At the model student 20 said you seem to have a special fondness when it's done.
Either fondness or you're able to look at it and reflect and say, if I was able to do that with this, what else can I do? You know?
At the model student 20 said print 1.
Nah.
At the model student 20 said do it.
Find it. Does such a beast even exist, file-wise? As I thought, no. 432s, yes. The engines? Not so much. Excuse me again. Oh. These just go here. I'm honestly surprised Black Dog hasn't made an engine kit for it.
Model student 20 said that's what I'm feeling now. I'm glad you suggested the basic build as it got me to dig the Spitfire and the BF out.
You're welcome. And yeah, it just teaches you to appreciate your own skills more, you know.
At the model student 20 said too bad no file fair engine.
I'm just looking to see how much of these need to be added beforehand. Yeah. Nothing. Okay, so I'm going to get the engine grills in place. Oh, it was my paper towels falling down. I'm like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with older kits. And it's actually kind of saddening to see that it's in vogue to willingly shit talk the kits when the only thing wrong with them is the fact that they're older than me. If they were that bad, they wouldn't have sold back then, and they wouldn't be reselling them now. Yeah, I just wish there were more people in the niche.
At the model student 20 said not conquering their set in their way I mean.
Yes. That's actually a very good way to put it. I'm trying to find a way to put it out there. There's nothing wrong with using all the other techniques that we're seeing out there, right? If you want to go that route, go that route. But the reason that I do the things the way I do is I look at that route and then I stop and think, wait, for that wet effect, what material are they using for that effect? Is it really worth the price they're asking? You know, I think of my budget as well. If you've got the money to blow on all this name brand 3-letter acronym crap, that's your prerogative. But when you're posting your model stuff, one, if you're sponsored by any of these companies, start out with that shit. That way we know it's on your sleeve. We're seeing it. Right? I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't want to be sponsored by anybody. So I'm not about to kiss Ammo's ass or SMS or any other company. If you want to use that stuff, do it. It's up to you. But that goes right along with what you're saying, that people get set in their ways because they're so used to using this shake and bake stuff, right? Because even that has made the shake and bake kits even more shake and bake. Oh, you want dirt? Here's a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt, you know. But what if you want to make something that jar of dirt doesn't do? Do you know how to do that? So yeah, there is something to be said for pushing and testing your own skill sets. Not in just the kits you build, but in the techniques you use and the products you use. And that's why you don't see me, like, you'll see people go into streams and just troll the shit out of people. You're not using this, you suck, you know. What good does that do? Like, I'm going to go into Night Shift stream and tell him you suck because you're using SMS or VMS products. No. It's just what he likes to use, and I think he's sponsored by them too. So he has to use them. But he's also shown in past videos sometimes they don't always make what he wants. So he has to improvise. Yeah, I like how that's coming out. And that interior looks suitably cluttered. And with the top hatches open, you'll be able to see a lot of that real easily. So I gotta find stuff to put in the stowage areas too. I think I got a couple British ammo cans and stuff. But now that we got the box sealed up, I'm going to let it dry for a day or two, and we'll come back to it next week. Don't know exactly where we're going to go with it. I'm thinking field gray and black. I've compared colors. To me, a field gray is the closest to the English olive green I want to use.
Said those channels don't inspire me. I find them great and the models are super and everything, but it all seems so over the top.
That's the other way you could look at it. You're not wrong. It's like, and I'm going to use an analogy here. Going to car shows around here, right? You know, you go to a car show, it's nice to see the shiny cars, but where are the not shiny cars? Where's the 20-year-old with the Camaro or the Mustang that's got some dents and some rust and some bad paint, right? But he's working on it. That's all you see these days at the car shows here is the money. You're always seeing the money. It's done. It's polished. It's got 5 layers of PPG clear over 3 layers of candy over a coat of gold. All that kind of crap. The same thing's happening here. I'll put the money into the kit. I want the nice kit, right? But when you look at all these other channels, you're looking at people, you know, throwing their Harder Sternbach airbrushes with their, you know, $50,000 supply of paints on their $500 wood rack around their desk. All you're seeing is the money. You're not seeing the talent. People tout Flory models. Yeah, he's earned his name, right? He's got his products out there. His work mat doesn't look like this. When's the work happening? And yeah, he does videos where it shows him working on stuff. I would rather see a modeler's work mat look like this than clean, spick and span every single time. I'm tired of seeing the money. I want to see the skills. You know, I want to see somebody take that 32nd scale BF110 and have somebody come up and go, ooh, is that the Dragon kit? No. It's the 50-year-old Revell kit. Holy shit. You know? I've had people do that to me. I've built I don't want to say mediocre, but an older model to a high standard using basic skills. And they've come up and asked if I use certain manufacturers' stuff on it. I'm like, no, that's just oil paints, this and that. It's nothing expensive. But it looked just as standout as the model next to it that had that $50 of pigments and, you know, yeah, and how much do they use it? Like, you see these people throwing the glass files around. How many people are actually out there using them? You know, when they're not doing the commercial for display, when are they actually using them? They probably aren't. But yeah, let's get the hobby back to its roots and not in the money. You know? I want to see that BF110 done. I'd rather watch that BF110 than, oh, what's his name? Yeah, I'd rather watch you build the BF110 than Night Shift build the truck. Yeah, they build for the praise, not for the fun. Exactly that. And I'm sure there's people out there that watch my channel and go, oh, he's so negative all the time. No, I'm just not kissing your ass. So, but now that we're ending on that wonderfully high note, you know, yeah, different strokes for different folks, and there's no wrong way to do the hobby, but don't make it so it's everybody else's way. That's when the hobby stops being fun. But yeah, I'll see you all later. Take it easy, And I'll post on YouTube on the little section
At the model
on what it's
student
called, or what it's called, the post section.
from the top when I get back from dog
Yeah.
walk after we're finished.
Yeah, when I in the post section, I'll update when my next full stream day will be, and I'll catch y'all later. Take it easy, build it the way you want to build it. I may not like certain products, but you're more than welcome to use them. Just don't make it your personality.
At the
You know?
model student 20
Catch you later.